For the final part of this lesson, let's go back to the Lesson 13 folder and double-click on the 13 Museo Photoshop document. And before we do anything, let's go to File and Save As, and let's add Working and your name to the document title. We'll hit Save and say OK. Now, the gist of this portion of the lesson is that we've designed a website, but we want to be able to have a different version of it for both the desktop as well as mobile. This means we're going to have to resize and resample and maybe even rearrange some images so that it looks good for both different layouts. In order to do this, we're going to take advantage of Photoshop's ability to have multiple artboards. You can see in the Layers panel that this is a regular Photoshop document with just multiple layers. In order to access this, let's go up to Select and choose All Layers. Then we can go to the Layer drop-down menu, choose New, and choose Artboard from Layers. This will ask us to give it a name, so let's call it the Desktop. And we'll say OK to that. Notice now in our Layers panel, all of the desktop layers are inside kind of a subfolder. Now this is actually treating it as a separate little artboard by itself. You can see there's little plus signs on the outside of all of it if you've got that desktop layer selected. Now in addition to this, you'll notice that you have a new tool that's grouped with your Move tool, and this is your artboard tool. With this tool selected, you can hold down the Option or the Alt key and click on the little plus sign beside it to quickly copy that artboard over to here. Notice it's called the desktop copy. Let's double click this one and call it iPhone. Now since the iPhone has a specific size to it, you can go to the Properties panel and you can change the size of the artboard to a preset size. In our case, we're going to set the dimensions to be an iPhone 8, 7, or 6. This will automatically resize it to fit that particular need. To resize the content so that it fits nicely on here, let's open up the iPhone settings and let's select the layers underneath the iPhone. Hold down Shift and click on Button Art and Right Column. Do make sure that the iPhone actual artboard name is not selected. To scale things down, let's go up to Edit, down to Free Transform, and up in our options at the top, we want to make sure that the reference point is turned on and choose the top left reference point. Also, for the width and the height, let's set the width to be 726 px. And do make sure the link is linked on so that it gets the height and the width being the same. You can now press Return or Enter or even the checkbox at the top to commit to that transformation. We can move this down by using our Move tool and holding down the Shift key and dragging it downward until we can see the Musée art right up here at the top. Let's resize the logo to be a little bit bigger. In your Layers panel, choose the Logo layer. Then we can go back up here. I'm going to zoom in so I can see it just a bit better. There we go. There. Zoom in, and then you can free transform it until it's the same width as the artwork below it. Finally, let's move everything else down by going to our Layers and choosing Banner, hold down Shift, and get the left and right column, and then drag that downward until it lines up. Let's try it one more time. Till the top edge of this lines up with the top edge of your side piece. I'm going to zoom out by doing Command and the minus sign until I see the entire thing and kind of drag down a bit more. Finally, if I wanted to make this artboard taller as if it's on an iPhone that I can scroll through, let's grab our artboard tool one more time, which is hiding underneath your Move tool. And then we can click on our artboard name, and you can, on your Layers panel, then you can click on the bottom edge and drag it down. Let's go all the way till it's 2,800 pixels tall. If necessary, you may need to zoom out just a bit, but keep dragging till it's 2,800. There. Now, in order to fill out the rest of this design, let's take the design that's on this right-hand side, bring it down, and expand it up to fill out this area. So to do this, let's choose our Move tool, choose the right column layer, and let's drag it downward just until it's free and clear from everything else. To scale it up, one more time, let's go up to our options. Let's go to Edit and Free Transform It. Make sure your reference point is turned on. This time, let's do the top right-hand side. The width of this one needs to be 672 pixels, px, and say return. And then finally, if necessary, go down here and kind of drag it back up. Finally, let's do the same for the left side. Choose the left column layer. With it selected, let's go into Free Transform mode. This time, set your reference point to the top left-hand side and have the width of it be 672 px for pixels. Finally, make sure there's an equal distance between everything and it all looks good. If necessary, now let's go to View and down to Fit to Screen. Now the final thing we'll learn to do for this lesson is how to export everything using the Export As command. This comes in handy whenever you need to save entire designs or just single layers as individual objects. Let's go up to File, down to Export, and choose Export As. This will bring up a little sub dialog box. You can see that both of the different artboards are selected, so all are selected. We're going to keep the size of it exactly the same, so make sure under Scale All your size is set to 1x and there's no suffix added to the end of it. The format we're going to save these files as is going to be a JPEG. We can keep the size and quality of it at around 6. The image size is going to be the same, but at the very bottom, do make sure to convert it to an sRGB and embed that color profile. Now when we click Export, it's going to ask us where we want to save it to. Just make sure we've got our Lesson 13 folder selected, and let's choose the Assets folder. It's nice and blank. We'll say Open. And now both of those should be saved inside of that folder as two different JPEGs. Jumping back into Photoshop, now let's export individual layers as their own individual artwork. Let's go down to our Layers panel and open up the desktop. We'll click on the button art, hold down the Shift key, and click on the right column to get all of the different layers. Then we can go up to Layer and choose Export As. Notice that this is a little bit different from just the regular file Export As. This is going to export individual layers. We're going to repeat the same process. Make sure all of these are selected. You can hold down Shift and click on them to see all the ones that we've got. The size will be 1x with no suffix, saving them as JPEGs, high quality, RGB space. When you choose Export, let's back up to Lesson 13, and these are going to be the assets for the desktop, and say Open. So now they're all saved inside of that desktop assets folder. Jump back into Photoshop one more time. Let's go to our layers and open up the iPhone. Hold down Shift and get all the layers inside of here. And one more time, go to the Layer, Export As. When you hold down Shift this time and get all the layers, we don't want to have, if you accidentally selected the white layer on the back, you can uncheck that one. So let's get all the ones that are not selected. Oops. But let's check them on so that they actually work. Now hold down Shift and we got them all. Keep everything the same as the default we've used before. Click Export and make sure to navigate now to the iPhone assets and click Open from there. And with this, we can go up to File and save our document one last time and close it out. When you upload your work to the Canvas page, the only thing that you need to upload is the working Museo Photoshop document that has the two different artboards, as well as your working working 13 Photoshop document that we did from the earlier.